Hello everybody, welcome in, welcome in. Okay, let's get me started. We are in the Just Journaling Around event that I host once a month in my group, T's Paper Crafting Friends event. There have been some changes to the lineup, so let me get that for you. Okay. Alright, Miss Julie was so gracious to stay on, and she is finishing up. But I did want to go over the changes to the lineup. So obviously I am on for Miss MJ. She had an emergency. Up after me at 5 o'clock is Crafting on a Budget with Miss Stephanie. 6 p.m. we have our sweet Ruthie with This Nana's Crafty. At 7 p.m. Miss Jamie is not feeling well, so in her place will be Miss Teresa with Teresa's Creations. And at 8 p.m. we will have Miss Amy. 9 p.m. we will have Miss Deborah from Crafting with the Sassy Chicks 101, and finishing us off will be Miss Wendy from Dusty Granny's Crafts by Wendy. So thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate it. And again, thank you so much to our wonderful friend Miss Julie for staying on extra to help cover so that I could get home and you know, get us rolling. And I'm finishing to update that. So we did start off with Miss Linda. She did these really cute printables. Then Miss Kim, it was her first time in our journaling event, so super excited about having her. From Kim's Rocking Wreaths and Home Decor. So again, thank you so much to everybody who's participated. I really do appreciate that, for you guys hanging out and just coming to be here. It does mean a lot. Okay, so I do not like when I cannot see things. Okay, so it's acting like I didn't share myself in. So we're going to do that again. Just because I don't know why it acts as if I didn't do it. And go ahead and do Telegram while we're at it. So today's theme was recipes, and I know that's it kind of tripped up some of y'all, but it really shouldn't have, because you know, we use recipes for different things. Was kind of my thoughts on that. So we're going to make like a little mini recipe holder that you could gift to someone. Hey there, Miss Amy. And so that's what we're going to be working with. We're going to be creating that. And I have half of a manila folder that happens to be green. I do have some little papers here. I liked the tones of them because they kind of go with like the vibe that I want for my cookbook that I will eventually be putting together for my daughter. So I have those to add into here. And I did bring some, like, you know, different things. So yes, some of us have some beautiful index cards that were written down, recipes that have been passed down. I don't have much of that because most of what I had got lost in moving. So which is, it still upsets me, but you know, it's okay. But you know, every once in a while, like, magazines have you know, these recipes that we've tried and we like. Little notes like this one, like which potatoes are the best, you know, like what are the best ones for mashed potatoes, use your russet potatoes, or the yellow ones, best for potato salad, you know, things that I try to teach my kiddos, like when to use which things. I thought that was good. And then I do have this, which actually is a recipe that Miss Carla gave us. She actually wrote here, from Carla Pratt. And it is part of her family recipe book. And she made these for me and Caroline last year, and we absolutely loved them. And so she gave us the recipe. So that obviously is something that's going to be in, it's going to carry over into my journal for her. Hey, Miss Carla. Alright, so again, this is one side of a manila folder. I'd already cut it once, and I typically like to come down like this and make a trifold, but today I do want it to be a little shorter, because if I do it that way with this, it's going to be 9.5 inches, which is, well, I mean, I guess it would be okay. It would end up sticking out of my journal, you know. So I just want to make it a little bit shorter, so that it can become part of a journal. So I'm thinking of flipping this up so that we can actually use it and turn it into a pocket, which is what we're going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and score it. Hey, sweet Carla. How are you, dear? I loved your box, your recipe box. So again, we've done this before. Right? So we've got that done. Now let's go ahead and make the folds. Now, I was just talking about you, my sweet Carla. Alright, and then again, I'm going to come over here and kind of at the base, we are going to fold it inward. Yeah, right there. Look at that, the two Louisiana girls are here. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I really do appreciate it. I wasn't planning on being on till later. But Miss MJ, who was actually helping to cover an empty spot, had an emergency herself and wasn't able to be here. You know what? I don't understand what's going on. I'm having issues with viewing people as well. I don't know. It's being a little bit of a turd, and I don't understand why. Okay, so thank you. Alright, now because I want to fold this up, if I fold it like that, it's gonna make it very bulky down here. So one of the things to avoid that is to cut little V's, and that'll help to break up some of the bulk. Okay, so you see I cut like a little V shape there. Hey there, Miss Teresa. Hi there, dear. Thank you so much for helping to cover. Miss Teresa will be on at 7. Miss Jamie isn't feeling well, so she will be coming on at her time. So make sure you guys stick around and watch. Like I said, we do have a few changes to the lineup. I did update. See, now by having those little triangle spots, right, when you go to fold, it'll lay flatter. Okay, it'll now lay flat instead of having that bulge. Okay, now let me look at, so this is one of the recipes, cheesy potatoes. I had a whole binder type scrapbook that I had made when I was growing up, of all of the recipes that I'd cut out from newspapers and magazines, and notes and recipes I'd come up with, were notes of where I had jotted down recipes as my grandma was making them. And all of that ended up getting lost, which, needless to say, I was not happy with. Oh, how cool! That is really cool. So you're going to learn how to do the sourdough starter, I'm guessing, right? Because honestly, once you've got the starter, the recipe itself is not that complicated. And you gotta feed your starter, and you gotta treat it like a little baby. Nurture it, all the things. But that is so much fun. My friend Wendy went to learn how to do some kind of something with lace and stuff at her local library as well. He did something like that. A starter is not that hard, because honestly all it is, starter comes from just, you know, what's left You leave a piece out and it ferments. Trying to make it to where I can still read the whole recipe when I close this. Okay, that'll work. Yeah. I don't know about that. You know, growing up, I did, because, you know, being the only female in the house, my dad would do the cooking, but all baking was left to me, because he would say he was not a baker. So I had to learn from my grandma. I had to teach myself, and then to make things more interesting, he is diabetic, so I had to, you know, keep that kind of stuff into consideration when I would bake too. And I'm talking about, this is before, you know, Splenda had like baking mixes and stuff like that, and getting powdered Splenda was expensive because it was imported. So yeah, it was interesting. Interesting to say the least. And I took lots of classes. I took classes on how to make pasta from scratch, bread from scratch, because my dad's mentality was if you knew how to make it from scratch, then I could tweak it for his, so that he could be able to eat it. Cookies and cakes and all kinds of stuff. Let me tell you, Christmas time in my teens and early 20s was a whole, like, this whole big thing. Hey there, Mama Connie, how are you? It was, seriously, it was like this whole big thing, like multiple of the tins with cookies and cakes and brownies, and yeah. Definitely don't do that anymore. That's a lot of work. A lot of work. Just saying. So let's see if I can trim some of this Audible off. I think it's lovely, and I do not see why she wouldn't love it, because, you know, for one, it's something that you made for her, and two, like you said, you know, you're gonna put family recipes in it. It's kind of like what Caroline wants me to do. So yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome. Alright, So I am going to glue the sides to make it a pocket, but this is high enough up that you that the pocket is not going to cover the cheesy potato. And my thought was that, like, if you made any changes to it, you could tuck like a little note card in here with whatever changes you made to the recipe. That was my thoughts. Trim this down. Yeah, I actually showed that I have this recipe that you gave us, this a copy from your family book, but I would love, and that's gonna go in there. But yes, any other recipes, and I may end up actually putting it out there if anybody wants to send recipes to contribute to it. Obviously don't send me the family secrets, you know, we don't want to make anybody mad, but you know, if there's like a favorite recipe that you like, and a lot of it is because she wants to have, like with me, she wants me to sit down and write the recipes down that I've cooked for them or that I came up with. You know, because like she was like, Mama, you gotta give me the recipe for the butter noodles. I'm like, Caroline, do you not realize that butter noodles, that was something that I made out of necessity. We had leftover noodles and y'all were hungry. Like, it was something that I came up with out of necessity. It's not like it's a recipe anywhere, but it's something that the kids would ask for, you know, afterwards. So she's like, I don't care. And I'm like, okay. And then it's like, Joshua asked me, like, Mama, how do you make the, you know, our pinto, which is something that is from Costa Rica, because he loves it, and you know, it's always been something that I've made. And then he, but you know, and I made some for him and his girlfriend, and she loved it. So he's like, I would like to try to make it on my own, and I was like, okay. So I told him. Yep, a lot of recipes are like that. And it's like with the pinto. I was telling Josh, I was like, sweetheart, I'm like, there's so many variations depending on the family. You know, I was like, I'll give you the base, like what I did. I'm like, but it's really gonna be up to you what you choose to what you choose to add to it or change to it. I was like, it's kind of like the lasagna. You saw me making it over and over again. You asked me, you know, what all did I put into it, and then after he moved out and started making it, like, he tweaked it and does things differently. And I told him that that's what it's about. You take those recipes and then you make them your own. So, hey Miss Anna, how are you, dear? Thank you for coming. So this is since we've got like the potatoes there, I think I'm going to put which potatoes are best here, and then you can pull it out. So that's what I'm going to do. No, I'm not running low on the stuff. You just being special. It's being special is what it's being. So today is all about recipes. Yesterday as well. So, you know, there's been so many different ideas of things to do that I really highly suggest, if you haven't been able to watch everybody, go catch the replays, because it's been phenomenal. I love it because everybody seemed to be a little, they thought it was challenging, and yet y'all have been amazing. Chocolate lasagna, now that's interesting. I don't think I've ever had chocolate lasagna. I'll be making lasagna at the retreat, because Caroline asked if I would make lasagna for y'all. So, y'all will be having some lasagna. And then I have this cute little pocoyo with the little chef's hat. And like I said, since this is going to end up going inside of the book that's for Caroline, and she loves him, so we're going to include him. But I am going to try to trim off some of all this white. Well, I know it's a dessert, and obviously it's got to be layered because it's called lasagna, and lasagna is all about layers. But I don't think I've ever had a chocolate lasagna. But yeah, for those who will be in person at the end of the month, y'all will get to have some of my lasagna. And we're gonna have some of we're gonna have gumbo, right? Gumbo or etouffee? Gumbo, right? Was what you were going to make, my dear. Chocolate cobbler is good. Ooh. You know, I've only known cobblers with fruit. Yes, Miss Stephanie, you are next. Yes, ma'am. We're excited to see what you'll be doing with recipes. Yeah, gumbo. That's what we thought. We're excited. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, and I do have a cooler. Matthew said I could use his big Yeti cooler when we go on our trip. So that's a good thing. So I will have a nice big size cooler with us. Oreos, chocolate pudding, whipped cream. Oh, interesting. Caroline might like that. She loves Oreos. Other than I don't know how she'd feel about, I'm guessing the Oreos get soggy though. I don't know. That girl can be so funny sometimes. So funny. What are you doing? Yes. Yes, that's why I was hoping to have a large cooler, and when he said that we could borrow his, I was like, oh, awesome. Because it's a good sturdy cooler. Oh, okay, a crust. Gotcha. Kind of like the Oreo cookie crust that I would make for like a pie, for like a chocolate pudding pie or something. Okay. Now that sounds yummy. Okay, so here's little Mr. Pocoyo in his little chef's hat. Like I said, Caroline loves this little guy, so we're going to include him. I also kept this one because he's got like a little cup of tea. And this is Pom Pom Pudding. And Caroline told me he's technically means he's a pudding. But he's a dog in dog shape. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know what these kids be into sometimes. Okay, so over here I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue down so that I can get these nice and secured. I know, they're so cute. That's why when I found them I was like, ooh, I'm keeping these because these are going to go into this. So this is going to be added into like a large pocket into the journal. I'm still debating if I'm going, what style of journal I'm going to make for this recipe album. I'm still debating that part. But I do want to make sure that it has like all the different foods that she likes and things that I've made. You don't even know what they are. Oh, they're from Hello Kitty. One is a dog and the other one is supposed to be a pudding shaped dog. Don't ask me. I don't know. I just know that they are like part of like the Hello Kitty and Friends type thing. So, alright, so, and we have a pocket there if I need to add anything. These are more of a tuck, which is good. And see, I'm not going to use this recipe only because I need to sit down and write down when Gary makes his deviled eggs, because those are the ones that the kids like. So that I need to get from him. I need to get that recipe from him. But she does like this quiche. We've done this one before, so I am going to incorporate that. She does like that. And the idea about putting all of these recipes together is for her to have a starter, because, you know, I want her to try to come up with her own stuff too. But I'm just grateful that someone, you know, in the family wanted to keep up with some of the traditions. And then of course now my son with his girl, looks like he'll be doing the same thing. So it'll be good if his sister has the recipes to pass down to the rest of them. Yes, they do sound good, don't they? They do sound good. Not that I did them, but they do sound good. What is it? Let's see. Butter, granulated sugar, flour, salt, vanilla extract, eggs, freshly squeezed lemon juice, lemon extract. I would totally like not use that, but strawberry preserves, sugar, strawberries. Yeah, and that actually sounds kind of easy, seeing as you're just using strawberry jam. So let's actually get creative then with this one, and that way we can use both. How about we make it to where this will turn, so that way if she does want to try to make this other one, she can. So I'm going to score yeah, I can take a picture of it for you. Sure. I had a Pocoyo burn book. Ooh, Miss Amy, I don't know what who we were burning, but that sounds interesting. That sounds interesting. Having a burn book like that. Okay, so I want to put glue to about there. I know, right? I'm like, who's in that book? 'Cause, yeah, I don't know. Definitely don't want to get on Miss Amy's bad side, now do we? Actually, let me bring it down. Let me bring it down. I'm curious what Miss Amy will be doing. Me is curious. Okay, y'all know this girl. I can't stand when things are like, okay. So, because only half of it is actually glued, I'm going to cut the other strip part off that I don't need. Just so that it is out of the way and doesn't look so tacky. So don't look so tacky. And then let's add just a little bit more. Miss Amy, did you Miss Carla, did you see Miss Amy's comment last night about the how you use the metal tip? Because I know you were asking about the little metal tip that you got, the little kit. It actually sits on top of, it doesn't replace it, it sits on top of the black piece, is what she was saying. So yeah, that's what she was saying in one of her comments, was that it sits on top of the black cap. the black point. Now I don't have that one, so I don't know, so I couldn't reply to you. I was like, I don't know, but that's what she was saying. She was saying it just sits on top. So okay, I am almost done with my time. Not that I'm done, but I'm almost done with my time. And I want to make sure that everybody goes and sees Miss Stephanie, who is up at 5 o'clock. And I will get her shared into the group. And then I'm going to go see what Gare needs to chit chat with me about. Because I've been out at appointments and running errands and stuff, so he needs to talk with me. So we gotta handle some things. Really? I don't know. But you have... That's what I was thinking. That it's a black squeeze tip and that it sits on top of it, and then you put the... I don't know. Maybe y'all can chit chat and figure that out, if that makes sense. So I still have a pocket here if I needed it, but the recipe is here, and by gluing this little flap, it gives us the option to see both recipes, but I don't like to see that. So this is where I think I'm going to come in with a piece of paper and cover this part here. Cover this in on the inside. Okay? And then that way you have a space where you could even write here notes if you needed to. And that flips up, you know. And then I'll find another recipe that'll fit here, or I could hand write a recipe as well. And then this, and look, and we even have space here for another recipe. And then this is going to go into the journal. So there's this little note here, because I remember one time she was asking me about, like, you know, what's the difference in potatoes and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. I typed that out for her. And so now she got, this will be a little insert that'll go into her little journal. So, and I think I'm gonna put him here because he's cute. So thank you so much for being here, guys. I really love you guys very much, and thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out. I'm gonna go and get Miss Stephanie shared into the group, so please go over there and give her some love and support. And then stay tuned, because we still have several more creators to come. And thank you again very, very much to everybody. Have a wonderful, lovely night, and I will see you soon.